Hey y'all, welcome. We're all for the culture show and podcast. We got a special guest here tonight, a real special guest. I'm really excited about this. Our first actress on the show today. We have Donshea Hopkins. Hey, can we call you AKA Ghost Daughter from Power?
Well, AKA Raina, because that's what most
Raina?
people call me. Yeah.
Okay, AKA Raina. AKA Raina. So I watch the show. You know, mostly everybody in hip hop watches the show. It is a big hip hop based show. We cover hip hop, so we wanted to bring you on and find out a little bit about that kind of world and what for the young kids out there. So let's start. Growing up, how did you get into that passion of wanting to act and do this?
Well, I've always had a love and passion for the arts. I mean, ever since I could talk, like, I tell this story a lot. But I started talking when I was 9 months old, and I would constantly, like, point to the TV and tell my mom that I wanted to do that. And up until I was 3 years old, I was so persistent with this. Like, I look back on it, and I realized how annoying it probably was to my mom. So I'm sorry. But I was so persistent with it. So when I was 3 years old, on New Year's Eve, we have this tradition where we tell each other, like, our goals and ambitions for the next year. And so I was telling her, I was like, Mom, I really want to be on TV. I really want to be an actress. How come you don't want me to be on TV? And she was explaining it to me. She was like, it's not that. It's just I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get you into the business. And she was like, but your birthday's in a few months. When you turn 4 years old, I'll look up the ins and the outs, what to do, agents and managers, things like that. And luckily, my teachers, my gymnastic teachers, and some of my ballet teachers, they were actually in the business.
Oh, wow.
Most of them were like Rockettes, or they worked at casting companies, so they sort of like helped her, and they gave her some tips and some info, and that helped me a lot too.
That's crazy. Most moms would have been like, shut up and go back to your homework. Like, you know, like at 4 years old, but I guess she probably saw that in you, that you really we're gonna take it seriously and really put your dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah, my mom, she let me try a little bit of everything. I even went through a point where I tried tennis, but it wasn't for me. I'm a watcher, not a player.
Oh, okay. I played tennis when I was younger. My sport was soccer before the whole wheelchair thing. I was big in soccer. So what were did you have a lot of like child roles, like commercial stuff like that growing up?
Yeah, I did. I've done over like 70 national commercials.
Okay.
And so I feel like commercials, those are like that's like the golden, when you're young, that's like the golden age for commercials, because in the commercial business, they love little kids. Because little kids like sell products and they're pretty convincing. So, yeah, I did tons of commercials when I was younger.
Okay, that's cool.
And I mean, I still do now. But most of the time you like hear my voice on the radio.
Yeah, and you did one-off episodes of like Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not really a fan of that show.
You gotta get into it. The show's getting pretty crazy now.
I was a fan of one of the shows that you said you were on, and I've seen every episode, and I don't remember what episode you were on. Law and Order SVU. What episode were you on?
I was on Unstable. That was episode 1 of season 11. So
Stabler was still in there.
Yeah, Stabler was still in there.
Unstable. What was the plot line?
All right, the plot. I had awful parents. So the plot was like my mom, she was a drug addict, and my dad was a rapist, and that was the plot. And Child Protective Services took me.
Because I've seen every episode. I have every episode. I have the whole collection. I watch every.
Yeah, but I was like 6 years old, so you probably saw me, but you just gotta go back. Don't remember.
I'm gonna go do that tonight. Actually, I gotta watch it. That's crazy. Okay, so let's get into. I want to get into. Before we get into Power, what I want to get into is you being a child actress. How does that work with the school and the life and doing normal things like hanging out with friends and going to the mall and, you know, going out with a bunch of guys and having a good time with your friends, like, you know, group of friends going out and having fun. How does that all mix together?
So I mean, it's kind of like second nature to me, because that's been my life so far. And most of my friends, they are in the business, so they kind of do understand, and we kind of have to figure out scheduling. But whenever we're free, we always try to like make time for each other. And as far as schooling, I'm homeschooled, so that helps a lot because in the entertainment industry, for child actors, if you don't get enough schooling in, you can't act. So it's the New York State law.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
you have to, like, education is the key, especially in New York, because that's one of the toughest for child actors that are in school. So yeah, I'm homeschooled. I do everything online, and basically, like, wherever my computer goes, that's my schoolroom.
Okay. You know, I was homeschooled because of I was half homeschooled, half regular school because of my going through all my kidney issues, and I feel like one of the good things that like being homeschooled teaches you is to learn on your own, not to have someone sit there and like, okay, this is how, like, you know, you have to actually. I feel like it's a little bit harder actually, and you got to figure things out yourself more, and it's a little bit harder to ask someone to sit down and explain it to you. So that I always felt like it taught me how to learn on my own.
Yeah, I feel like
And
with
learn quick.
homeschooling, it's more hands-on.
Yeah.
Because if you do, like, did your mom teach you? Or
No, it was
mostly
like
online?
when in the school system, when you're sick, when you have like a registered disease, they provide a teacher that comes to your house twice a week and does your work with you, and then like gives you your assignments or whatever, but doesn't really teach you, just kind of gives you the assignments, goes over whatever she needs to go over with, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, see, it was different for me. My mom, she was really hands-on. She was like, it's this, and that. Like, of course, she didn't, like, give me the answers, but she was really hands-on. And the same with my teachers online. Like, I can always ask them a question, and they don't get back, like, immediately because it is online, but they do get back within a few hours.
You can ask
yeah, I
questions to
do
and
have
stuff.
teachers.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's cool.
But, I mean, Google helps, too, sometimes.
Okay.
Just sometimes.
Yeah, Google does help sometimes, and kind of help me cheat sometimes. Sorry, Mom. But kids out there, don't cheat. It's not good.
Don't cheat. I don't cheat. I'm just saying, if there's a really hard question and your teachers are not responding in a timely fashion, Google it. I mean, Google is there for a reason.
I remember one time in college, I was taking an online test, and it didn't have like the lockdown browser, so you could use Google, and I searched like the exact question, and the whole test came up with all the answers. I was like, click. I was like, there's no way I can pass this up. I have things to do today. I want to go do. I was like, click. So, college wasn't for me. It was really tough with surgeries back and forth and stuff like that. So, but is that something when you want to go pursue college?
Definitely.
That's cool. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. There's a lot of places I want to go. I want to go to Juilliard.
Okay.
I want to go to NYU. Because, like, at the same time, I kind of want to stay home, but I really do want to go away. Like, I don't want to be far because of my job and everything, but I don't know, I want to, like, explore the world. So I do want to go to Harvard, Yale, Brown, or, yeah, those are, like,
I'm totally blanking on the college that my niece goes to that's not far. It's not in New York, but it's not far from New York. I'll tell you. Huh?
Syracuse.
No, I don't think it's Syracuse. I don't remember. But anyway, okay. So let's get into power and that and finding out about that. So the first question I want to ask is, how did you get the part? How did you find out about the part? How did that come about? How did that even start?
Okay, it's a pretty typical story. My agent sent me out for the audition. They sent me the script and everything, the whole rundown, who the producers were, who the directors were, and I looked at the script. And the moment I looked at the script, I was like, this is going to be a hit show. Yeah. And I had told my mom, and I was like, whoever gets this is lucky. Like, this looks like a pretty awesome production. And since it was Stars, I was like, they definitely have, like, the funding, and they just have that push and that pull factor. And I was like, they're a really great network. And so from the moment I read, like, who Raina was and what her personality was like, I was like, I can definitely relate to this girl. She loves the arts. I love the arts. We're both kind of into fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I am Raina. And I walked in that room and I was like, I am Raina. I mean, I didn't say that, but that was like my internal.
Yeah.
And
of course.
so yeah, and they had us prepare a song, and they also had a song in the script that they wanted us to do. So I just did it my own way. I didn't do it in the key they wanted us to do it in. I did it in the key that matched my voice. And
they want you to sing?
Yeah, that was one of the requirements for
so
Raina.
Weird.
And if you watch season 1, Raina, she sings a lot in season 1.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. She did. Okay, yeah, that's right. She didn't want to be.
So that was like one of the number 1 requirements. And I remember on the email it says, talent must be able to sing, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can sing. I think I sound pretty good. I love singing.
Okay,
and
that's dope.
Yeah, and so from that moment, I was like, I think I got this. I want this.
Yeah.
And that was like the audition process. I went in, met the casting directors. I auditioned, and they wanted me to do it again. And then I think I did it like 4 times. Like the first 2 times we stuck to the script. Then like the 3rd time we went completely off book and we improv'd. And I remember being in that room and we improv for like probably 15 minutes. This whole script, this whole scene between Raina and Ghost and Tasha. And so that was really interesting.
Okay.
And then like I'd say about maybe 2-3 weeks later, I got called back in for a callback and a chemistry read with Michael Rainey Jr., who plays Tariq, my awful brother.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I remember we improv for like 20 minutes. They had us like go on book, then we went off book, and we improv back and forth, and then we had like the sibling fight, and it was really fun. And just from that moment, I was like, you know what? I hope I get this. I can see myself being Raina, and it seems like they have a really amazing cast. And so like from that moment on, I was like, I hope I get this. But you know, I didn't want to get my hopes up too high.
Yeah.
And then about like I think a month and a half later, my mom, she was like, do you remember that show Power? And I was like, yeah, what about it? I thought it was like completely done. I thought someone else got it. I thought one of my friends got it.
Yeah.
And so I thought she was about to tell me like, hey, this person got it. And so I was like, yeah, what about it? And she's like, well, you booked it. And I just remember running around screaming like a maniac. I was running around the house. And she was like, yeah, I kind of knew since like, you know, last month. And I was like, what? But because of contracts and everything, she had to kind of keep it a secret.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's cool. As like when you read these scripts and you read that, you know, you're 15 and then what the show's content is, did it ever bother your mother? Did it ever bother like your parents that like the show's content was drugs and violence and a lot of, you know, sexual stuff going on? Of course, not you, but you know, in the show, does it ever? And then, you know, the Law and Order thing. You said you were young when you did that. Did she ever fear like maybe you would have nightmares at that time from that episode, doing that Law and Order episode or anything like that? No,
because like with again, like going back to the child actor laws, they keep us separated from a lot of the stuff. Of course we are at those table readings, so we do hear what goes on, but from the moment I got into this business, my mom, she was like, hey, this is work. This is not a play date. And if you're going to be on these TV shows, you're going to have to deal with real life. So from there on, I had a basic understanding of everything.
Okay.
And so, yeah, with my mom, she's really cool about everything, because if you're going to tell a story, you have to tell life, because life imitates art, art imitates life. And so that was never really an issue. She's just like, it's not directly affecting you. You're not doing it. But if there was a time when your character had to do something like that, I would probably have to step in and say something.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's completely understandable.
Of course. So she keeps you pretty grounded, it seems like.
Yeah, she does.
She seems like she's like a big part of your career, which is always good to have that, you know, that one, you know, you have that one person on your side that you know, okay, like they're not screwing me, like they're, you know, with a lot of this business, you work with people and your intentions, your thoughts are what are their intentions, why are they, and with it's, I guess, you know, mom knows best, right, in every aspect. So what do they give you, like what kind of advice does your mom give you about, like, you know, now that you're in the film acting world and all this, and you know, I'm sure you get the DMs from the boys. I'm sure all that. How does she feel about that? How does she deal with that? What does she tell you about that?
Well, I mean, well, first of all, she didn't know what a DM was until recently. She didn't know that it meant direct message. And she's like, why are all these people telling you to check your DM? What is a DM? So I was like, it's a direct message. And basically with Instagram, it kind of puts a block on people that you don't follow.
Yeah.
So that's completely separated. That's completely out of the way. Although I do get some DMs, and I'm just like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
You're like 12, dude. I'm 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, she's always just told me to stay grounded, stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
And with the business, the only person that can beat you is you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. And if something is too good to be true, step back, look at it, get your papers right.
Okay. So does she mind you dating, or is she like, you know, it's not the age yet, you need to wait?
She's like, it's not the age yet, when I'm 16. Okay. But, I mean, I don't think I just can't see myself dating. Yeah. I'm like I call myself the most social, antisocial person ever. Yeah. But I just like can't see myself dating. Besides, I just wouldn't be fair to like the other person because I have a busy lifestyle, and that's just not fair to them.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you're working at Power, how does it work? Like, when do you find out what's gonna happen that full season? Like, do you find out throughout or at the very beginning, or?
You know nothing at the very beginning, and that goes for literally everyone. Okay. Everyone in the entire cast. Even Omari Hartwick, he's OH. I call him OH. But he's Ghost. He's like the man, and he doesn't know stuff. He finds out stuff maybe like 2 months before. So I'd say like he does have that advantage over everyone. But you still never know because Courtney, she has such an amazing brain, and all of the writers do, and they always add on these new writers and these new directors each season. So you never really know what's going to happen until you walk into that table read, because you don't get the script literally until 2 days before the table read. And a table read, for people listening or watching that don't know, it's when the whole cast and the executive producers and the director of the episode and the writers, they get together and you read the script with like basically half of the network being there. And
do you do that for every episode?
Every episode. And so, yeah, it's pretty shocking when you walk into the room, because even if you get the script maybe like a day or two before, they always change it right before you walk in the room, so you never know what's going to happen. You don't know who's dying. You never know what's going to happen.
Okay. So like, how did you find out about you dying?
Okay, so I found out Courtney Kemp, again, the creator of the show, she brought me into her office, and we were actually shooting episode 408 at the time. So we were still shooting, and they were like, hey, Courtney wants to talk to you. Like, we were about to wrap up the episode, and I was like, they were like, she wants to meet you. She wants you to meet her in her office. And I was like, oh, God. And I just kind of knew from that moment that I was like, okay, I'm probably about to get killed off, or I'm either gonna become a series regular. And so it was just like a lot of, I wouldn't say nerves, but
you
just
weren't series regular though, right?
No, reoccurring. But one of the main characters, but reoccurring.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I didn't know what was gonna happen. And usually when you get that, it's either like you really pissed someone off, you did something, and I was like, what did I do? Or either they just want to just talk to you about something, or maybe there's a big shift that's going to happen for your character. So I kind of had a sense that I was dying, and I was like, I don't know, I just think something bad is going to happen to Raina. So I went upstairs. I think I changed out of my wardrobe. Then I went to her office, and I just remember going to that door, and as I was going to that door, just my eyes started tearing up, and she was like, hey, we're killing you off. And it was so nonchalant, and I'm like, God, she's done this so many times before. She doesn't even care. But it's not that. She didn't care. She we talked about it, and she was like, we all hold Raina so near and dear to our hearts that this is heartbreaking for me. And we had a nice little chat. And so, but yeah. That like I found out literally 2 weeks before we started shooting episode 409, Raina's last episode.
Okay. Oh, so you found
Actually, no, a week. I found out a week before.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So they tell you nonchalantly. They don't care. They say you're off power, but
no, they care. But it's just.
But it just seems they're just so used to it. Is it possible that we're gonna be seeing Raina like still in flashbacks and?
I have no idea. They're literally so secretive over there. But I don't know. But I feel like at this point, it really is up to the fans. So if you guys are using hashtag Bring Raina Back, and if you're constantly tagging me and Stars and Courtney and 50, then there's a possibility. But it's all up to like the push and pull factors with the fans.
Yeah. You know, like when I watched it, I was like, when I saw, I was like, they're gonna find some way to bring her back. It's something's gonna. It's gonna be like, I thought he's on like it's on drugs. He has this hallucination.
I mean, I think everyone kind of thought there was like he was having a hallucination or someone was dreaming, and I was like, maybe someone is dreaming. Maybe a hallucination is possible. We don't know. I don't know.
So how much did you work with 50 Cent directly?
Well, again, at the table reads, I saw him he was like almost at most of the table reads.
Yeah.
But he is very busy, so he couldn't make all of them.
Yeah.
But I never got the chance to really work with him. But he would always pop up and surprise everyone some days. So some days he'd just sort of walk behind someone, and we could be in the middle of the scene, and he's just like, "Hey," and he totally freaks us out. And so he would always pop up like at the most random times. So I worked with him, but I never got to work with Kanan. But I worked with 50, and it was pretty awesome.
So let me ask you,
and he gives away great advice, both for like acting and music.
It's 2018, so he dropped, and you're 15, and he dropped Get Rich or Die Trying in 2003. So you were. Maybe just born, or not even born probably yet?
No, I was one.
You was 1 years old?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, to just think about that album and think about how classic and monumental that album was, and then you get to work with him years later. Do you listen to the album? Have you listened to the album?
I've listened to his music, and the ironic thing about this was I literally had worked on Orange is the New Black on season 2, episode 7. And I had to do one of his songs. And then it was like months later I got called in for this, and I was like, this is so weird. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yep.
And then when I met him for the first time, I was like, yeah, I rapped on your songs. He was like, no way. He's like, you can't spit. And I was like, yes, I can. And so he was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And at the next table where he was like, you killed it, D. You killed it. And he was like, you didn't do it like me, but you killed it.
Oh my God, the universe works in mysterious ways.
It does.
What's your opinion on his marketing style? Because, a lot of the thing was the power, was the empire, put clashing the two shows, the episode leaking thing. What do you think of his marketing style? Do you think, I mean, obviously it's genius, it works, but I mean, is it something you think you would come up with yourself? Do you think you have that kind of marketing style, or how do you feel about his marketing style and what he did?
I think he's a genius when it comes to marketing, because he's kind of made his own lane as far as marketing. And with Empire and Power, I feel like that was just the fans, really. They really pushed that. It wasn't, because initially it wasn't a competition between us, because we didn't even see it as a competition. We didn't even see the similarities. I was just like, people. I didn't
see the similarities either, and I felt like it was kind of racial.
Yeah, it was, and it's just because it was like two powerful black shows, and I think that's really messed up. That's the one messed up thing about this business. Whenever there's a show with people of color, we always want to compare. Yeah, it's like we don't do that with other shows.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really, really, really stupid.
And as far as his marketing, I think he's a genius. I'd say I'm a little bit nicer when it comes to marketing. I don't just straight out diss people. But I have a persuasive marketing strategy, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you think he really leaked those episodes, or he just
He didn't leak them.
He just said it to
Yeah.
he just
said it jokingly, and then the fans, they took it as serious. But it was actually a fan from New York that leaked the episodes.
And I heard someone DM'd you and told you about it. You didn't believe them, and then it
they did. It was really crazy. Like, that freaked me out. That actually shook me to my core, because 3 days before they were like, "Hey, Raina's dead," and I was like, "Wait," and I'm like, this person did not just DM me this, because I always like check my DMs, even if I don't accept them, I still look through them. And so I was like, what? And then they just kept messaging and messaging and messaging. And they were like, yeah, I have your episodes. So if you don't want me to leak them, you have to send me money. And I'm just like, this person is crazy. And I'm like, they just probably heard this word of mouth. I was like, you know what? Someone's been talking. That's how they heard this. They don't have the episodes. And then they were like, no, it's all over Facebook. And I'm just like, yeah, this person's crazy.
That's crazy.
And then 3 days later, it was like, psh, the leak.
They were trying to extort you out of money. That's
I know,
crazy. That's
and
so
it was crazy.
Wow. Okay, so they leaked, and so have they said? Do you know if they've started? Are you still in communication with the show, with the people that stars, with the power creators and stuff like that? And do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in communication with everyone. We actually, most of us see each other quite frequently, since most of the cast is like musically inclined. Like Rotimi, I see him at a lot of events, and I'm just like, hey, and then I'll see 50 here and there, and New York isn't as big as people think it is, so we always run into each other, and so it's actually weird, because it's like when you least expect it. And I remember running into JR, R.I.P. Julio, but at a sample cell, and I was just like looking through like this pile of jeans, and I was like, oh, this is too complicated, I can't do this. And he was like, I know, right? And I looked, and I was like, hey, you. And then he was like, oh, hey. And then he was like, all right, I'll see you at the premiere. And I was like, see ya. And just the other day, I saw Sung, who plays who recently joined the cast in season 4.
Yeah, he plays the agent.
Yes. And I was like, oh, hey. He was like, he kept staring, and I was like, who's this person that keeps staring? Then I looked, and I was like, oh, hey. And he was like, hey. So it's weird. You always see people when you least expect it, but I am still in communications with most of the cast. And yeah, we all have a pretty good relationship, and I'm cool with everyone at Stars, because, at the end of the day, it's business, but we're all still a family.
So, who are you closest with out of the cast? Who did you get the closest with out of all the cast?
I'd probably say Omari, because he treats me as if I'm his actual daughter.
Oh, okay.
And he has kids, and his kids think they think I'm their big sister.
Oh, that's cool.
They're always like, I want to talk to Donshea. And whatever I wear, Nova, she's my little best friend. Shout out to Nova. Anything I wear, Nova is Omari's daughter. She wants it. So she's like, can I have these shoes? And can I have her bag? And he's like, no, Nova, you can't have that, because Donshea's 15 and you're 4. And so, like, whatever I have, they always want it.
That's funny.
So, yeah, I'm definitely the closest to him, I'd say.
And after that, who would you say you're closest to after that?
I'd say Leela. Leela Lauren, who plays Angela. Because she treats me.
Really?
Yeah, okay. She says I'm the daughter she'll probably never have, but I'm not never. But yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
And then probably
it's just like something into the show. I'm like, you should hate her, but I'm like, wait, that's not the show. It's your life.
I know.
So I'm like, wait a second.
I know, some days, like, when I had to yell at her in a scene, I'm like, stop being so nice, I have to hate you. And I think it was the first episode I had to yell at her when Raina comes home and she sees, like, all the feds are in the penthouse, and I had to literally scream at her, and they're like, scream, scream, scream. And so we had to do this thing before each take where we literally push each other. And so, like, to build up this whole morale, because I was like, but she's so nice.
That's so funny. I'll tell you something crazy. Like, my father used to always preach to me, save money for a rainy day, save money for a rainy day. And I tell you, the fact that he did that, when I got sick and the medical bills piled up and Christmases didn't change, birthdays didn't change. Because, God forbid, knock on wood, but you never know what can happen in life, I was living a healthy life, perfect life, you know, and suddenly kidney disease, boom, you know. So luckily, him saving for that rainy day, nothing changed, nothing in our lives were different, you know. The house didn't change, the cars didn't change, the going out didn't change. Oh, can't go out to dinner tonight, you know. So, you know, that saving for a rainy day is always really important.
Yeah.
Which actually, that's a good segue into my next topic. In your Vlad interview, I liked how I asked you, is that your parents' money or your money? You go, no, that's the way you said. You're like, no, that's my money. Like, my money, like my money. You better recognize, work for this shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but so he did talk about the Coogan account. I do know about that. So that's only 15%. So you do get to enjoy the fruits of your labor and some like the stuff. Because before I looked up the Coogan account, when I was watching the interview, I was like, damn, that sucks. It all goes into account. She doesn't get to like buy any like.
Nope.
You don't get to use any of it?
I don't get to use any of it. Not until I'm like way older.
Oh, I thought it was just like 15% that goes in there.
No, well, it depends. It depends on like what you're working for, who you're working for, the contract, things like that.
Okay. That's crazy. So you don't get
and
to
your
like,
representation
enjoy
too.
the fruits of your labor and
not now,
not
but later. And I think if I did enjoy it now, I'd probably be like super broke. Because I mean, I do have a shopping problem. I'm kind of a shopaholic. But this business, I swear, this business will literally make you go broke, because you might have an audition like here, then you have to have a print audition, so you have to change your shirt, because if you're doing modeling, you can't have all these graphics on your t-shirt. Yeah. But you might have went out for this call, and in the script it said you have to be a tomboy, so you have this graphic t-shirt on and your hair is messed up and you have to go fix your hair, and then you have to go get another shirt, and then you have to switch up your makeup. So yeah, I'd say this, like, I'm glad I don't have access to it.
So that money that it sits there, is there nobody that like is putting into like, you know, really low risk investments where the money will grow over time, you know, like really low risk bonds and stocks and things like that can grow your money over time? Does that money get invested from that account?
I don't know. No, it doesn't. It
doesn't get invested at all? Oh, okay. Now, because I was just wondering, like, you know, if the money's sitting there, a lot of times people have like money that just sits. They just put it in bonds and things like that. That's low risk and collects very, very little interest, but it's just, at least it's a little something. So I was just wondering if that's that. That's crazy. But I mean, it's crazy that you don't get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But after reading why the law came about and the story behind it and everything, it was like it's a give and take. Yeah, you know, it's a give and take. So what about like, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get like too into your pockets. I'm just curious how to, like, what about like appearances and shows and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, what? Well, I mean, I'd say,
is that all Coogan account stuff, or is that?
It depends. It depends on like what type of appearance. If it's a network appearance, if the network that you work for is calling you out to appear or do a press run or something like that, then since that goes through the network, through the show that you're on, it would go into the Coogan account. Okay. But if it's just a separate entity, like if it's something that someone personally asked you to come out to.
Yeah, like if you came down to Houston to perform or something.
Yeah, then I would have it. That would be mine.
Okay. So that's cool. Okay. Cause I would be so mad if like I'm doing all this stuff and I don't get to see anything. I'm like, whack. I feel like I'm like slave wars, like, not to, you know, racial, but like it just seemed like, what the hell am I doing this for? That's the way I would feel. Like, this is bullshit. Like, but so let me ask you, what do you think now is gonna happen in season 5? What do you think? What do you feel Ghost is gonna turn into? What do you feel? What do you think? You think he's gonna revert back into his old ways? and forget about the whole changing his life thing and really try to get revenge and really go back into it, or what do you feel?
I don't know. I think maybe it depends because he's at like a really, really crucial point right now. So, a lot of things could happen. But I remember Shauna, she's one of the executive producers on the show, and we were talking, and she was like, when you lose a child, you never really recover from that.
Yeah.
And she was like, so Raina's legacy will live on, and we were just kind of talking about that, and she was like, so they're never going to be the same. No one's ever going to be the same. So, and she was talking about her experiences with her real life friend who had unfortunately lost their child. And so, I mean, I have no idea. I think Ghost is probably going to go like total beast mode. And, but who knows? But he might be broken down for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be a replay from the beginning of season 4 when he's like really down and low and he's just trying to get his mind right. Or we might see him go crazy and then see him down and low and just trying to get his mind right. So, I mean, I don't know. But that's going to be really interesting to see play out. Honestly, I can't wait to see that play out.
So are we being seeing you in any new shows coming up?
Yes, you will. I'm currently working on a movie right now.
Okay.
And I'm currently writing my own TV show.
Okay.
And some other TV shows as well. But currently you can.
Do you have networks for them that want to pick them up already, or?
No, not yet. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to jinx anything.
Okay.
But you can currently listen to me on the Ghost of Jessica Majors podcast. That is available on iTunes and the Penna app. I play Dahlia Thomas, and it's kind of like a ghost story. So if you're really into science fiction and the paranormal and like Stranger Things and Ghostbusters, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I didn't know there was like podcasts like that.
Yeah, well, it's actually the first podcast with a cast completely, well, not completely, but almost entirely made up of kids and teenagers. And and it's about and it's like the first sort of like drama podcast.
I gotta check it out, cause like.
But yeah, it's really cool.
It just seems so. So it's almost like a TV show, like it's like a podcast show.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a show on a podcast.
Yeah, show on a podcast.
Wow. Okay, I never knew it was. I mean, like you said, that was the first one. So. You do music as well?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So, first question I have. We're here all for the culture. Big part of the culture is writing. Do you write your own raps? Do you write your own songs?
Everything on my debut EP, I wrote, co-wrote, and co-produced. And I'm currently writing some more songs right now for my album. Okay. But writing is like a huge step for me. I always have to write or like write the format. Or, like, if I'm working on someone with a song, I still want to write down my ideas and the lyrics that I may have for that song. Because I feel like there's nothing better than writing something of your own and then having other people sort of experience what you're experiencing.
Yeah. So you do use help, but you are part of the main writing team.
Yes,
basically.
but the majority of the songs I write, I write them by myself.
You write them
because I have like this vigorous process. I like lock myself in a room for a few hours. I have to have a water or like coffee or Coke Zero or something, just something to keep me like up, and empty book and a pen or a pencil, that's like my writing process.
I'm sorry, y'all guys. I just yawned. It's really late. I'm sorry. I apologize. But okay, so that's cool. So I saw your song. It was all a dream. I looked at some of your more stuff. You had a lot of New York visuals.
Yeah.
A lot of Biggie visuals. It seems like you were a fan of Biggie.
Yeah, I am. I am a fan of Biggie. Okay. And so for It Was All a Dream, that was kind of like paying homage to Brooklyn and to Biggie and to New York as well.
That's what it seemed like.
It was. That was like the whole concept of the video. And for the video, We used all the dancers we used were kids from different boroughs in New York. We had kids from Bronx. We had kids from Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Long Island, Harlem, and so that video was so dope. And the cool thing about it was that none of these kids had training. And we just wanted like real kids. We wanted to train them, let them get the experience of actually working on a set, because we don't get that a lot with people of color and girls of color too. So I wanted to make them feel special and make kids that wouldn't normally get these opportunities, make them feel special as well.
Yes, definitely. Who were your early musical influences? Who'd you listen to growing up?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Alicia Keys.
H-Town.
And I was actually listening to her on my flight here. Alicia Keys. Her album was like always on repeat, like in the car. Her and Beyonce would always like alternate between the two. Adele, Biggie, Lil' Kim. Oh, I've had so many influences. It's like you never can think of them on the spot. Yeah. But if you look into my phone, it's crazy. It's Nina Simone, AC/DC, Muddy Waters, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. I'm trying to think. Paramore. I listen to everything.
Yeah, you seem like you listen to a lot of different stuff. Have you heard of the poster behind you, Sublime? No. If not, you should definitely check them out. They only put out, I think, 1 or 2 albums. The lead singer, I believe he committed suicide. Oh wow. Or something like that. They're an old group, but they have this like reggae rap type vibe, and I always recommend it to people who did what you just did, burst out a lot of different types of music, because their music is not like something that you would. It's like infused a lot of different stuff. You might check them out. You might like them.
Yeah, definitely will.
So how long have you been doing the music?
I've been doing music professionally since I was 6 years old. Okay. That's when I got my first guitar. That's when I started taking vocal lessons, and that's when I started really like writing music. Mm-hmm. And so most of the songs on my EP, I actually went back and I looked at like my old songbooks and got inspired. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I could take like pieces from this and put it to this and add my experiences and what I'm going through now to the experience I had when I was younger. And kind of like my journey from acting to music into doing both. And so, yeah.
I wanted to ask you.
Oh yeah, but I didn't start taking. Sorry to interrupt, but I didn't start taking music seriously until I was about, I'd say like 10 or 11. Like I knew I could do it, but I didn't think I was that good. And I think I was like 7, and I was just I was like doing one of Jay-Z's rhymes. And my uncle, he was like, you can really spit. And I was like, no, I can't. I was like, no, you're crazy. I can't. I'm like, I'm just doing this because it's on the radio.
I mean, I'm singing along, yeah.
And and he was like, no, you can't. Come on, let's write something. And we sat down and we wrote I'm Motivated, which is one of the tracks on my EP.
Okay.
And so we went in and we did that song. And when I was about 7 or 8, we went in, we recorded that. And I was sick. I had a really long day. I worked at summer camp, which was from like 9 in the morning to 4. And then I had auditions and I was running around. And we did that. And I was like, no, I don't like it. My voice is stuffed up. I sound sick. And so we went in. We did it again when I was 9. And I was like, no, I don't like it. I don't want to take this music thing seriously. And everyone was like, you need to push it. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And so when I think I was 11, I did it again. And then when I was 12, and the last time I did it, I was 13. And I was like, okay, you know what? I want to push this.
Yeah.
And that's when I started really taking it seriously, like 11 and 12. I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I do love music. I do see that I am talented with music. And I think it would be just a great way to kind of broaden my horizon and expand my fan base.
That's cool. Let me ask you, in hip hop, a lot of times we pit the women rappers against each other, right? Um, how did you feel about the Remy Ma Nicki Minaj thing? Now we're talking not as like a beef thing, but strictly from a culture standpoint. Obviously, I'm sure you heard the diss record.
Yeah, I did.
What do you think she killed her? You think she killed it? You think?
I mean, I think they're both good, and they were both like they both had their primes. Like when Nicki Minaj came out, it was like, who is this chick? Yeah. And she had like the crazy pink hair and everything. And then when you look past that, it was like, wow, she can really spit. She can really flow. And then Remy Ma, when she was younger, she was in her prime and she had her time. And I think, beastie. Yeah, she was. And I just think it was literally no reason to pit them against each other. Yeah. It was just, I think it was a marketing plot.
So we were talking about women, and so why do you feel that, like, you know, the sexuality, and why do you feel like that? And do you feel like there is a lane for the non-sexual women raps? Or is it more like that's what guys want to hear, that's what girls want to hear, that's what is like the turn-up party music?
I think it's the label. The label thinks, oh, well, this is what younger people want to hear, when it's not. We don't want to hear about that. We want to hear about the hustle and what it took to get there. Okay. That's what most of us want to hear about. And I think it's just the labels. They push it on people, and people are like, oh, well, if this is going to sell, then I'm going to do that because I want to have, like, the hottest track of, like, 2017 and 2018 and for years and years to come. Yeah. When you don't have to do that because there are tons of ways you can get there. I think if you just speak from the heart and if you just talk about, like, what you want to talk about, then it'll just come naturally. It'll come sooner or later. Like, one day you're going to have your time. And I think that's what most female rappers need to realize. Like, don't sell out to a label. And then I think with some female rappers, they want to talk about it because some things are just shunned. And it's easier for guys to get away with it and not girls.
Have you been approached by labels and stuff like that? And are you talking to any labels? Is that something that is in your mind? Do you want to sign or do you want to stay independent?
Well, yeah, I've been approached by tons of labels, but I don't know. A part of me like wants to stay independent, and even I've met with a few labels. I'm not gonna say who, but they were like, you know what? Maybe you should just stay independent because you've got something good going for you. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I haven't really like fully sat down and talked with people yet. Yeah. But they've conveniently run into me, so I know it's there. So I know it's definitely coming. I have been asked and approached, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. A part of me wants to sign because I feel like some things it'll be like a weight off my shoulder with the stress and a lot of things and trying to organize things yourself and have your team organize things for you. But so yeah, like a part of me wants to sign, but a part of me doesn't because I do like having my rights. I do like having full control over my music, and I wouldn't want a label telling me when and what I have to produce and when I have to produce it. So I just I like working for myself, even though it is hard, like working for myself, because I'm my worst enemy and I'm my best critic. So wait, I think I just said the same thing like twice in a separate manner. But so it is hard working for myself. It is pretty hard, especially with the music. So I don't know. I'm figuring it out. In 2018, I'll see.
Okay. So with the whole label situation, or you signing to a label, stuff like that, you being independent, you know, that's the same way I feel about my podcast. Is like, you know, there's channels out there where you can sign to and eventually, but I get what you mean. It's like you end up spending so much time on all the extra work that you could give that to the label to do and focus on other things, but you don't want to give up that creativity. Because I'm so I have people that help me run my Instagram, but like I'm so anal about like what to say on actual post that I'm like, y'all can do everything except post. Like, do not post or DM people back, because I'm not playing that.
Yeah, but I'm very like keen about that, and I know I think like 2 years ago, people wanted to like run my Instagram account for me and all these PR people and just different people. And I was like, you know what? It's just not the same because I have this connection with my fans. And my fans know when I post something rather than when something's already typed up and I tell someone like, hey, can you post this for me? Because I really don't have any time today. And they're like, yeah, sure. It's not the same. It has to have like that personal touch. But I also have to realize that, you know, I'm not Supergirl and I can't put my hands in everything. But for the most part, if I can't control anything, I try to control my social media and like my writing and my music.
Okay, well, what I'm about to say doesn't make every blog and podcast in the world hit you up, but that is very true. She does get back. She does look at her Twitter DMs. She does look at all her messages because that honestly was how this interview was hooked up.
It was.
Just straight through a straight DM.
It was actually a tweet. You tweeted, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. I tweeted, and
yeah.
It was after I saw your Vlad interview, and I was like, I just thought about it, and I was like, you know, with All for the Culture, the goal was to always bring anybody who is pushing the culture forward. So then looked you up, saw that you did music, and I was like, wow, she does music. She reminds me of like, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, because some people might take it in a disrespectful way, but it reminded me of like a little mama. Mm-hmm. You know, like a young girl dancing, having fun in her music videos, taking it seriously, but not looking like she's taking it seriously, if you get what I mean. Having fun with it. We're talking about what's next. You said the album, working on that. When are we expected to release that? Do you have a title?
No, I don't have a title yet. I mean, I might just go ahead and call it 3.2, the album. But I don't have a title yet. I'm working on that. Or maybe I just might use my name, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, coming up I have a concert. After the new year, it's a concert with Reebok. Shout out to Reebok. They actually sponsored a holiday concert that I just did.
Big things.
Yeah, they sponsored a holiday concert that I just did, and so did Fan Stereo. Shout out to Fan Stereo. They're this awesome electronic company, and I have some headphones coming out with them that I'm really excited to launch. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm super excited.
Oh, she going up against you, 50?
No.
So you get that SMS deal?
No. It's all cool, Fifth. But
that's gonna be funny. Oh, I hope he has a funny marketing plan that when y'all's drop, that's gonna be funny. I can imagine his comments.
But yeah, I'm gonna give him a pair, so hopefully there's no bad blood. But yeah, I recently just did a holiday concert. Actually, like 2 days ago. And we raised donations. We got toys and clothes for local shelters. So yeah, that's what we just did. And we were trying to do that, the Reebok one, but it's too close to Christmas.
Okay.
So we can't do it. So it's gonna be after the new year. It's at Reebok in New York City in Union Square. And that's in Manhattan, if you guys don't know. But so yeah, I'm working on that and some other concerts, and we're trying to put together a tour.
That's cool. Okay. So no title for the album yet. Not on a label. Doing it independent. Doing it all independent. Okay. So how does that work? It's just an investment for you right now. It's just you're paying for everything, studio time, marketing, promo, all that. Yeah. That's just your investment in yourself.
Yeah.
You hear that, kids? Gotta invest in yourself. You don't need big studios to do your work. You don't need, the big fancy, the hit factory. You could do your work in the small little studio, home studio.
Or even on your phone. Just whatever works for you.
Just get out there and record. But it was a pleasure to have you. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm so excited we got this interview. Power is one of my favorite shows. And it's always a treat that, I get to, my family, they're not into rap at all. But my dad does like to watch some of the shows that me and my brother watch. My sister-in-law, she's not a rap fan, but she watches it because my brother watches it. So, as soon as I told, they were actually supposed to be here today, but because it started late, they got work in the morning. But it's just, they were all so excited, like, oh my God. The one From Power, what? And I'm like, man, Vic Mensa, they don't know a thing about it. But as soon as you mentioned Donshea, they were like, as soon as I mentioned Ghost Daughter from Power, oh my god. I'm like, y'all are crazy, man. So it's really cool feeling for when your family is, especially my family in India too, they kind of know, some of my family in India actually know about the show themselves.
Yeah,
so it's
I know
crazy how it spread that far, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah, we have a fan base in a lot of Asian countries, which is really cool.
That's really, really cool that kind of show and that kind of connection with the audience grows you into not just national but worldwide scale.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I think it was not last month, the beginning of this month actually. I got approached from fans from the UK.
Yeah. And
then it was like some fans from France, and it's been crazy. Fans from Brazil and all over the world.
My assistant told me the people at the hotel that you checked in just now freaked out.
Yeah, they did freak out. The lady at the front desk, she like trampled me with this huge hug, but they were so sweet. And I just love seeing the fans' reactions.
Yeah, that's funny. He came back and told me about it. I started laughing. I was like, well, that's good then. I mean, it must feel good to get that love and get that reception and know that you're doing it in an honorable fashion, and that's good. And I hope that continues. Actually, one thing I do want to ask you, hip hop it's sad to say, but it's synonymous with cursing, and I listen to your music. I didn't really hear cursing. Is that something you purposely stay away from? Is it something you're gonna stay away from for the remainder of your career, or as you get older it'll change, or you don't know, or not something you think about?
I don't know, because I like write from the heart, and it's kind of like I try to stay away from it because I do have a lot of younger fans, and I love my younger fans, and I'm an example to them, which is something that I thought was crazy. So I had to realize that I have to really be on point. But my mom's on it; she listens to my music, and my grandparents listen to it. So there's a very slim chance that will be happening. But as I get older, my music, of course, has to progress with my age. Yeah. So who knows? Okay.
So it seems like it's not something you really think about that really affects you at all. It's just okay, cool. All right. Well, we out. You can check us out at www.all4theculture.com. You can check us out at All for the Culture Show on Instagram. You can check me out on Instagram at Hip Hop Handicap, and you can check the whole show and me out at Twitter on Hip Hop Handicap. Shout out all your
all right, you guys can catch me on Instagram at Donshea_Hopkins, on Twitter at Donshea Hopkins. Basically, everything is Donshea Hopkins. That's DONSHEAHOPKINS. I am on Facebook. I'm not that active on there, and I know I mentioned that a lot, but I'm not. But I'm trying to get on top of it for you guys. And subscribe to me on YouTube. Download my EP 3.2. Download and stream it. And that's it.
Oh, okay. All right, we out.